In a controversial move that raises questions about the intersection of politics, business interests, and environmental concerns, the Trump administration has announced plans to terminate federal research initiatives focused on space pollution. This decision, which critics argue benefits billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk, owner of SpaceX and Starlink, could have significant implications for both the burgeoning commercial space industry and the integrity of Earth's atmosphere. The proposed cuts come in response to a broader agenda by the Trump administration to eliminate what it terms woke ideology from federal programs. However, experts and environmental advocates are skeptical, suggesting that the termination of these projects is more about shielding powerful interests than saving taxpayer dollars. Tim Whitehouse, executive director of the Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility, commented, "These are programs the government wanted to build up that had bipartisan support. And suddenly they're being gutted with no rhyme or reason." Research into the pollution generated by satellites and rockets, particularly emissions from Musk's companies, has shown alarming trends. A NOAA-sponsored study from late 2023 highlighted that metals from spacecraft entering the atmosphere are accumulating in the stratosphere. Such pollution poses a potential threat to the ozone layer, which protects life on Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation. The implications are particularly concerning amid the ongoing climate crisis, as these pollutants may further destabilize our planet's delicate climate system. The two primary research projects earmarked for cancellation were aimed at measuring the accumulation of space debris and its environmental impacts. Critics argue that without these studies there will be less oversight and fewer regulations governing emissions from commercial space endeavors, which are expected to escalate dramatically in the coming years. As many as 100,000 satellites could be in orbit within the next decade, driven by companies like SpaceX and Amazon's efforts to deploy mega-constellations for broadband services. The environmental impact of space launches has already been substantiated by previous research, indicating that emissions from rockets are significantly more potent than those from traditional aviation. In fact, pollutants emitted during rocket launches could raise stratospheric temperatures by as much as 2 degrees Celsius, threatening to degrade the ozone layer across vast sections of the northern hemisphere. As the administration moves to dismantle these vital research initiatives, Musk and his commercial counterparts appear poised to dominate the narrative surrounding space pollution. The lack of regulations could allow for unchecked growth within the commercial space sector despite evident environmental risks. This raises ethical concerns regarding the role of private interests in shaping federal policy, especially when individuals like Musk are closely tied to the administration's decision-making processes. Notably, the Trump administration's cuts are occurring in a climate where Musk's influence is already significant. His role in the Department of Government Efficiency, an entity responsible for slashing federal budgets, has led to accusations of conflict of interest. As Whitehouse pointed out, these programs are under attack because they come up against strong commercial interests. Looking forward, the cessation of these studies will likely hinder our understanding of how space activities affect the Earth's atmosphere, leaving the health of the stratosphere largely unmonitored. A climate system already vulnerable to rapid changes is now at risk of being further altered by unchecked emissions from a burgeoning satellite industry. The absence of effective regulatory frameworks could lead to long-term environmental consequences that we are only beginning to understand. As we watch these developments unfold, the broader implications for both environmental policy and the commercial space sector will become increasingly clear. Stakeholders across the industry and advocacy groups will need to rally around the necessity for sustainable practices, demanding accountability from both government and private entities as we venture deeper into the final frontier. In a controversial move that has drawn scrutiny from various sectors, former President Donald Trump has enabled Elon Musk and his newly formed Department of Government Efficiency DOGE to operate with minimal oversight, raising serious ethical concerns. This shift has profound implications for U.S. families, particularly regarding the potential for identity theft and the mishandling of sensitive personal data. The Trump administration's recent actions have included the removal of certain ethical requirements for civil servants, the appointment of Musk as a special government employee, and granting DOGE unprecedented access to sensitive government data. Such changes have opened the door for Musk and his associates to exploit their positions for personal gain. Critics argue that this lack of oversight not only creates opportunities for ethical lapses but also endangers the privacy of millions of Americans. By allowing Musk to identify his own conflicts, the Trump administration has essentially created a scenario where there is no accountability, stated Celine McNicholas, an analyst with the Economic Policy Institute. Since Musk's appointment, there has been no evidence of him filing required ethics forms, raising alarms about potential conflicts of interest. The absence of these forms indicates a significant lapse in ethical governance, particularly given Musk's extensive business interests that could directly benefit from his access to government data. Musk and DOGE team members have gained access to sensitive information across various federal agencies, including Internal Revenue Service (IRS) data and Social Security numbers. This access is particularly troubling as it coincides with a burgeoning data broker industry that thrives on individual-level consumer data. If DOGE were to derive just 10% of the insights available from this data, the value could reach an astonishing $43.4 billion. Moreover, if Musk were to leverage his influence to double the value of federal contracts awarded to his companies, it could result in an additional $23.6 billion in federal spending directed towards his businesses. The ramifications of this access extend beyond potential financial gains for Musk. The risk of identity theft is amplified significantly. With current victimization rates, if they were to double, 50 million Americans could be affected, leading to estimated losses of $39.4 billion annually. This scenario underscores the urgent need for robust data protection measures, particularly given the sensitive nature of the information that DOGE has access to. The IRS has been particularly impacted by DOGE's cost-cutting measures, with reports indicating that nearly one-third of its tax auditors have left since the onset of these cuts. The ramifications of this staffing reduction are expected to reverberate across the federal government's ability to collect tax revenue, especially from high-income individuals and corporations. Emily DeVito, a senior advisor on economic policy, expressed concern, stating, "You lose the very staff trained to keep high-end taxpayers and corporate taxpayers in compliance. If the IRS is unable to effectively audit wealthy Americans, it could lead to a significant shortfall in government revenue." Critics of DOGE argue that the agency's cost-cutting efforts, which aim to save the government money, may ultimately result in lost revenue that outweighs any initial savings. Estimates suggest that the IRS could forfeit as much as $323 billion in tax revenue over the next decade due to diminished tax compliance and a decline in audits, further complicating the federal budget landscape. As the Trump administration continues to reshape federal operations under the guise of efficiency, the implications for ethical governance and public trust remain a pressing concern. The interplay between Musk's dual roles as a government employee and business mogul raises questions about accountability and oversight, particularly as DOGE seeks to streamline government functions. The potential for exploitation of government resources for personal gain cannot be overlooked. Looking forward, the intersection of politics, ethics, and technology will remain a critical area of scrutiny. As Musk's influence expands within the government, the risks associated with identity theft, data privacy, and federal accountability will likely intensify, necessitating vigilant oversight and a commitment to safeguarding the interests of American families. The coming months will be pivotal in determining how these dynamics unfold and whether any measures will be taken to restore ethical governance in the face of unprecedented challenges. Tesla is facing a challenging period as its sales figures reveal a significant decline in China, yet paradoxically its stock is witnessing an uptick. In April 2025, Tesla sold 58,459 vehicles in China, marking a drop of 5.96% year-on-year and a staggering 25.84% decrease from March's 78828 units, according to data from the China Passenger Car Association. For the first 4 months of the year, Tesla's sales in China totaled 231,213 vehicles, down 18.31% compared to the same period last year. This decline stands in stark contrast to the performance of major Chinese electric vehicle EV manufacturers like NIO Xpeng and Li Auto, which reported substantial gains. This slump in sales raises questions about Tesla's market strategy in China, particularly in light of increasing competition from local EV makers that are consistently outperforming Tesla in terms of sales growth. NIO, for instance, delivered 23,900 vehicles in April, up 53.01% from last year. While Xpeng and Li Auto also reported significant increases in their delivery figures. These contrasting results underscore a shift in consumer preference and the challenges Tesla faces in maintaining its market share in an increasingly competitive landscape. Compounding Tesla's woes is its inventory crisis with the Cybertruck. Despite nearly 2 million estimated pre-orders, Tesla's production numbers have not met expectations, leading to a backlog of unsold Cybertrucks. Recent reports indicate that Tesla is sitting on approximately 10,000 unsold units, while the automaker managed to produce only 6,400 units in the first quarter of 2025, just 21% of Giga-Texas production capacity. This excess inventory is a stark reminder that demand may not be matching the ambitious forecasts set by Elon Musk when the vehicle was first unveiled. The factors contributing to this demand drop are multifaceted. Tesla's brand image appears to be taking a hit, with the company attributing some of the decline to changing political sentiment, likely influenced by Musk's recent political activism, which seems to have turned some customers away. Moreover, the Cybertruck's price increases and unmet expectations regarding its range have further disillusioned potential buyers. While Tesla grapples with these challenges, it continues to innovate and expand its operations. Rivian, another electric vehicle manufacturer, recently announced plans for a $120 million supplier park adjacent to its existing assembly plant in Normal, Illinois. This initiative aims to bolster Rivian's supply chain as it prepares for the upcoming R2 model, enhancing its operational efficiency by co-locating suppliers close to its production facility. The investment is anticipated to create nearly 100 new jobs and contribute to the local economy. In contrast, Hyundai has opted to delay its plans for a hypercasting plant due to the impact of U.S. tariffs on foreign automobile imports, which have altered the financial landscape for many automakers. The postponement of this $730 million investment reflects broader challenges within the industry as companies reassess their strategies in light of changing market conditions, including rising import costs and fluctuating consumer demand. As the electric vehicle market evolves, the ramifications of tariffs and shifting consumer preferences will likely impact innovation and production strategies across the industry. Companies like Tesla and Hyundai must navigate these turbulent waters carefully to maintain competitiveness. Investors will be watching closely to see how Tesla adapts to this new reality, especially as other manufacturers gain traction and consumer loyalty in the growing EV market. The coming months will be critical in determining whether Tesla can reclaim its footing in China and turn the tide on its inventory challenges, while also observing how broader economic pressures will shape the future of electric vehicle production and sales. In a significant milestone for the satellite communications landscape, SpaceX successfully launched another batch of Starlink satellites on the evening of May 6, 2025. This mission, dubbed Starlink 6-93, was the company's 470th Falcon 9 rocket launch and saw the deployment of 28 new satellites into low Earth orbit, contributing to an ever-expanding constellation that now exceeds 7,300 operational satellites. The liftoff occurred at 9:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, marking yet another achievement in SpaceX's ongoing efforts to provide global broadband coverage. The launch was facilitated by favorable weather conditions, with the 45th Weather Squadron forecasting an 85% chance of suitable weather for the 4-hour launch window. Minor concerns regarding anvil and cumulus clouds did not delay the mission, showcasing SpaceX's meticulous planning and execution. The Falcon 9's first stage booster designated B-1085 made its seventh flight, demonstrating the company's commitment to reusability. This booster has previously supported a variety of missions, including NASA's Crew 9 launch and GPS-3 space vehicle 07. 8 minutes post-launch, B-1085 successfully landed on the drone ship. Just read the instructions, marking the 119th successful booster landing for that platform and the 442nd in SpaceX's history. Looking ahead, SpaceX is poised for more activity as plans are in motion for upcoming launches from both Florida and California. Notably, at least 2 additional Starlink launches are scheduled from Vandenberg Space Force Base later this month. These missions are anticipated to further bolster SpaceX's satellite internet service, which aims to provide high-speed broadband access to underserved and remote regions around the globe. However, the company is not without its challenges. Recent scrutiny from Democratic leaders in the House of Representatives has raised concerns about potential conflicts of interest involving SpaceX and its CEO Elon Musk. A letter sent to NASA and the Department of Defense on May 6 requested an investigation into allegations that SpaceX has received investment from Chinese sources, as well as broader inquiries into how such foreign investments could affect national security. The letter highlights the significant amount of government work performed by SpaceX, emphasizing the need for transparency and the avoidance of conflicts that could arise from Musk's dual role in the private sector and as an influential figure within the U.S. government. The implications of these inquiries could be profound, potentially affecting SpaceX's future contracts and operations, particularly as the company continues to play a crucial role in the U.S. space agenda. As the dialogue around transparency and foreign investment heats up, it remains vital for the company to navigate these challenges while continuing to innovate in the rapidly evolving space sector. In conclusion, as SpaceX continues to expand its Starlink network and engage in numerous launches, it faces a complex landscape filled with both opportunities and challenges. The company's commitment to enhancing global connectivity is clear, yet it must also address regulatory and ethical concerns that accompany its ambitious goals. Future developments, particularly in response to the House's inquiries and upcoming launches, will be closely monitored, as they could significantly shape the trajectory of SpaceX's operations and its pivotal role in the aerospace industry. In a surprising turn of events, Elon Musk has once again changed his name on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, adopting the new moniker of Gorklin Rust. This latest transformation has ignited a wave of speculation among users, many of whom are eager to decipher the meaning behind the cryptic name. The change comes shortly after Musk unveiled plans to enhance X's recommendation algorithm by integrating a lightweight version of Grok, the AI chatbot developed by his company xAI. The name Gorklin Rust seems to be a blend of references to Grok and the Rust programming language, the latter of which is reportedly part of xAI's technological framework. Additionally, Gorklin Rust shares its name with a meme coin circulating on the Solana blockchain, which is traded on decentralized platforms like PumpSwap, Radium, and Meteora. This name change is not Musk's first foray into playful rebranding. Earlier this year, he adopted the name Kikius Maximus, showcasing his penchant for mixing meme culture with his public persona. Musk's renaming comes at a time of significant upheaval for X, as the platform struggles to regain its footing after a turbulent period marked by controversies surrounding Musk's management style and public statements. The billionaire's controversial remarks and behaviors have led to a notable decline in user trust and engagement. This decline has been compounded by his aggressive stance on free speech, which has at times alienated advertisers and users alike. As X seeks to transition into an everything app capable of rivaling services like Venmo and Zelle, the introduction of X Money, a payment system that aims to facilitate person-to-person transactions, has met resistance from lawmakers in New York. State officials are pushing back against Musk's ambitions, citing concerns about his past conduct and the implications of giving him access to vast amounts of consumer data. Assemblymember Micah Lasher articulated these concerns, stating, "What we're talking about is nothing less than Elon Musk becoming a permanent part of the country's financial infrastructure." Beyond his business ventures, Musk's personal life has also garnered media attention, particularly in light of his strained relationship with his transgender daughter Vivian Jenna Wilson. In a recent interview, Wilson spoke candidly about her experiences growing up with Musk, describing him as an absent and at times unkind father. She recounted instances of being criticized for her femininity, underscoring the emotional toll his behavior had on her during childhood. Wilson's revelations highlight the complex interplay between Musk's public persona and his private life, further complicating public perception of the tech mogul. As Elon Musk navigates these tumultuous waters, the implications of his actions and decisions will undoubtedly resonate beyond the confines of social media. The fallout from his management of X, coupled with his controversial personal beliefs, suggests a challenging road ahead, particularly as he seeks to redefine both his brand and the platform's future. With the tech landscape continually shifting, observers will be watching closely to see how Musk adapts to the mounting pressures from users, lawmakers, and even members of his own family. As he continues to experiment with his identity on social media, one can't help but wonder how these transformations will influence the trajectory of X and its standing in the broader tech ecosystem. In a remarkable intersection of technology and human experience, a breakthrough from Neuralink is capturing attention, a brain-computer interface (BCI) that enables a patient with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, to communicate and create digital content using only his thoughts. Bradford G. Smith, who was not only the first nonverbal patient to receive the Neuralink implant but also the first individual with ALS to do so, has showcased his capabilities through a YouTube video that he edited and narrated using this cutting-edge technology. This achievement highlights the potential of BCIs to restore autonomy to those with severe motor disabilities, offering a new avenue for communication and interaction with the digital world. Smith's journey began last November when he was implanted with a device about the thickness of 5 stacked coins. This implant contains over 1,000 electrodes that detect faint neuron signals, translating his thoughts into actions on a computer screen. In his recent video, Smith demonstrates how he can control a MacBook's cursor by thinking about moving his tongue or clenching his jaw. This innovation allows him not only to navigate digital spaces more effectively than with traditional eye gaze technology, often limited by lighting conditions, but also to engage in activities like playing video games with his children, a significant emotional milestone for him as a father. The incorporation of generative AI into Smith's communication process adds another layer of complexity and capability. Using Grok, an AI chatbot developed by Elon Musk, Smith has accelerated his communication speed by receiving assistance in crafting responses and generating conversational input. This raises intriguing questions about the nature of communication itself. To what extent are Smith's interactions a product of his own thoughts versus the AI's contributions? As Smith puts it, "It is really nice to have a purpose greater than me," emphasizing the emotional and psychological impact of regaining a voice in a society that often marginalizes those with disabilities. Elon Musk expressed his enthusiasm for Smith's progress, noting that the device's potential to enhance the quality of life for individuals with disabilities aligns with Neuralink's mission. The implications of this technology extend beyond ALS. It holds promise for individuals with other debilitating conditions such as spinal cord injuries, cerebral palsy, and multiple sclerosis. However, as with any technological advancement, ethical considerations loom large. Neuroethicists are closely monitoring Smith's case, especially as the intersection of brain implants and AI raises questions about autonomy, identity, and the nature of communication. The potential for these technologies to redefine agency in individuals with severe disabilities is both thrilling and daunting. Meanwhile, the broader technology landscape continues to evolve. With developments like the Trump administration's tariffs on clean energy components and the ongoing tensions in the tech industry surrounding data privacy and surveillance, these issues may indirectly affect the pace of innovation in neurotechnology and other fields, underscoring the interconnectedness of industry policy and social progress. As we look to the future, Smith's pioneering use of the Neuralink implant serves as a beacon of hope for many facing similar challenges. The advancements in brain-computer interfaces may soon lead to a world where individuals with disabilities can reclaim their voices and participate more fully in society. The dialogue surrounding these technologies will be essential in shaping a future that respects both the potential and the privacy of those they aim to empower. As we continue to witness these developments, it remains clear that the fusion of human experience with technological innovation is only just beginning.